Hey, what's up, people? Look, I'm old now. Welcome to the Dirt Bike Chemistry Shed, and we're going to be doing something important today. We're starting a new lesson. We're going to be doing Chapter 10. I'm going to put the PowerPoint on the Google Classroom, and what I want you to do is watch me go through it. And that's how we're going to do it. It'll be very helpful if you just watch this instead of just clipping through your notes. This is the closest to teaching you that I can do. All right, so here we are on the slideshow that I'm going to put up on your Google Classroom. All right, now this chapter is about, you can see it's chapter 10 up here. It's about chemical reactions. So chemical reactions are the way we write down chemical changes on paper, and that's what we're going to be doing. And if you look at this slide, it says the substances that react are called the reactants, and the substances that are produced are called the products. And I'll explain that to you. Obviously, this slide is what the state says I'm supposed to teach you about this. These are your bullet points. These are the things you're supposed to know. Okay. Now, how do we write chemical reactions? You remember I was talking to you guys. About having to know how to name everything. Well, here's what you'll have to be able to do. Like, let's read this sentence. A solution of silver nitrate reacts with aqueous sodium chloride to produce solid silver chloride and sodium nitrate solution. So if you look, you would have to be able to write silver nitrate correctly and sodium chloride. Then this arrow says these two are the reactants, silver nitrate and salt. They're mixed together. And they make something new. They end up making silver chloride, which is a solid, and sodium nitrate, which is dissolved. So this is what a chemical reaction looks like. And you'll be able to do this very, very well. All right? If you look closely, you'll see that silver is with nitrate over here. But when it's mixed up in the solution, silver ends up being with chlorine. See, we made two new things. It's like two couples went on a double date, and then now they've switched partners. I think there was an episode of Happy Days like that. And no, you don't know what Happy Days is. All right, now there's 5 different types of chemical reactions. You can watch this YouTube video. It's real quick. It shows you those. Obviously, I'm making a video right now, and I'm going to go over 5 of these. All right? Here are the 5 types of chemical reactions. Synthesis, decomposition, single replacement, double replacement, and combustion. All right? Take a look. I'm going to do something for you. Let's see. All right, the first one I'm going to do, I'll do a synthesis reaction for you. All right, synthesis. You probably know to synthesize something means to make something. All right, so let's say I had some solid sodium. That would be like a very soft metal, right? Remember the metal, if you even got it wet, it would go crazy. And if you mix that with chlorine gas, remember chlorine always has to be Cl2 because it's deadly 7. Okay? So if you mix some solid sodium with some chlorine gas, you would end up making sodium chloride or salt. That's how we make table salt. We literally... Well, we dig it up out of the earth, but you can make it very easily mixing solid sodium and chlorine gas. Now, just to go ahead and show you this, see how there are 2 chlorine... forget it. All right, the next type, we'll do that later. The next type of reaction is called decomposition. Now, let's say I had some water. Liquid water. And then I could run some electricity through this, and I could break it down into hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Well, another word for breaking something down is decomposing it. So you can see synthesis, you take two things and you make something, and decomposition, having one thing and breaking it down into two other things. Those are the opposite, right? Synthesis and decomposition are the opposite of each other. Now let's do the next type of reaction. Single replacement. Let's say that I have some lithium. Lithium's super reactive, right? And then I mix it with some copper 1 chloride. That's a solution. Now, if this is a single replacement reaction, that means that this metal right here is going to replace copper in the copper chloride compound. It's like this guy is handsome, and he finds this couple, and then he replaces this dude. Check it out. If lithium is mixed with copper chloride, you'll end up with lithium chloride. Lithium will now be with chlorine, and then copper will end up by itself. So you'll have a solution of lithium chloride, and then the copper will go home by itself. And this little S here means solid. Copper will go home alone from the movies crying. All right, now let's do the last two. The last two, and I know this video is getting long. I'm almost done. The last two. Double replacement. Okay, here's a double replacement reaction. Let's say I had some sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, and this little AQ, it stands for the word aqueous. Okay, and then I mix it with some calcium chloride solution. You've done that in class. You've had calcium chloride solution in class. If you mix those two solutions, then the sodium will leave hydroxide and connect with the chlorine. And then the calcium will let go of the chlorine and connect to the hydroxide. It's like I said earlier, this couple and this couple go out on a double date together, and then they end up switching partners. So if they switch partners, you would see that sodium would now be with chlorine, and that would be a solution. And calcium is now going to be with hydroxide. Now we have to write the correct formula for calcium hydroxide, which is CaOH2. And then that would actually be a solid or a precipitate, whatever you want to call it. So that's a double replacement reaction. And then the last one is called combustion. Combustion is what happens in any motor that burns fuel. Okay? Let's try a combustion reaction right here. What if I was burning some propane? I had a carbon hydrogen, C3H8 is propane, and then I combine that with oxygen. Now I'm going to make carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide will be a gas. The water could be a liquid or a gas. It doesn't matter. It depends on the temperature, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and write gas here because that's what comes out the exhaust pipe. So if you're running your dirt bike off of propane, which would be possible, and you take the propane, you mix it with oxygen, and then the spark plug goes off, right? Then it's going to make carbon dioxide and water. And that's called a combustion reaction. So when you think combustion, think about an explosion. All right, I'm going to send you a really simple worksheet on this. When you do the worksheet, I'm going to show you some equations, and I want you to label them as either S for synthesis, D for decomposition, SR for single replacement, DR for double replacement, or C for combustion. So that's the only thing I want you to do today is label them. We will learn how to balance them tomorrow.